Hello, everyone. I want to take you through a cool process today. I want to show you how to use a rubric inside of Google Classroom, hopefully making grading processes a little bit easier for you. So I sent you not only in the email a link to this video, but I also sent you a link that will put you on a web page that looks just like this. So if you see that, then you're doing good. And so I want to start off by looking at my classroom, and let's just say that I am making an assignment and I want to make sure that I grade the students using a rubric to help me along the way and to help them know what they're expecting in terms of getting good grades and how to achieve well on their particular project. So what you would do is you would open up an assignment, fill in the information. You can keep, I just kept it very basic just because I want to show you the features. But over here, if you'll notice, you have an icon that says Rubric over on the bottom right-hand corner. When you click on it, you have three options. You can create a rubric, you can reuse a rubric, or you can import it from Sheets. Now, you can create one inside of Classroom. To me, it's a little bit daunting and a little bit overwhelming. So that's why I'm going to choose to show you how to do it through Sheets instead. But again, it's your choice. If you want to play around with this one, whatever makes it work easier for you is what it's all about. I'm just sharing with you one technique. So again, I'm going to choose the import from Sheets option. So we have to go create it first. So let's go see how to do that. So as I started off, I told you you'll get a link to this right here, and it says make a copy. And when you do that, it's going to take you to something like this. And when you actually click on that button, oops, let me show you real quick. And so when you click on that button, you're going to be prompted into a spreadsheet that looks just like this. However, what can be some things to keep in mind is that this is a copy of a rubric created by Alice Keeler, which I know most of you are familiar with her. And what you want to do is you want to treat this as your master copy. Okay, so you want to treat it as your master. So what you need to do up here is you need to go ahead and rename it. Of course, I'm just going to kind of keep it simple for our purposes, and I'm going to keep it as Rubric Google Classroom Template Master. And anytime you create a rubric using this particular template, all you'll need to do is open this up from your Google Sheets, and you'll go to File, and you'll go to Make a Copy. And this is where you want to name the specific one that you're going to create. So for us today, I'm going to do ASI Sample Rubric. Tell it where to go, then I'm going to click OK. Then we're going to give it just a second to load, and then it'll pop up something like this. So again, these have stayed the same, but now you've kept the template master so that you don't manipulate it. You actually want to keep it, so it's kind of like your master copy. And then this is my specific one that I'm actually going to work inside of. So just so there's a little explanation as to what these boxes mean, because at first it seems kind of confusing. The orange box is going to be the title for the categories that you are going to name. So however you're going to grade your kiddos, these are your categories in orange. The blue box is a description of the category. Your green box is your basic grading amount. So like, for example, if you score inside of this area, you're going to meet the standard. If you score inside of here, you're going to approach the standard, and so on and so forth. And then down in the pink is the description that it takes for that student to meet the standard in that category. So again, a description that approaches the standard in that category. So I want to show you something. If you click on the box and you just start typing in there. So the first one I'm going to do is title components, just making something up here. And underneath here, I'd put a description, of what that means to me. So student title of project components, something along those lines. All right, so that's what the student is going to see. They're going to say, oh, the first category is going to be my title components, and this is my title as a student that I use has the right components to qualify me to earn all of my points. Then I come over here, and you can change the green boxes if you want to. If you wanted to change it to exceed standards, meet standards. If you want to change it to numbers, you could do that too. It's completely up to you. So then in the description, my description would outline what it takes to meet the standard. So this is just, again, my description. Then I do that for each one. Then if you'll notice, here came a whole other one. It auto puts in the next category, which is super nice. So you don't have to copy and paste a thing. It will auto populate for you. So then you go in and you do your second category. So for me, it might be like main body or whatever it is that my kiddos are doing. Oh, look, there comes another one ready to go in. So it auto populates in the different categories for you. But let's just say, okay, you've done that, and now you've got categories popping up that you don't need anymore. Like you've got what you want. Well, to get rid of them, it's a pretty simple process. You just click on the one that you do not want, on the orange box you don't want, and you click the backspace button. Boom, gone away. Perfect. So to hopefully make this seem a little bit more sensical for you, is if you take a look, this is one that's completed, one that I have finished. It's pretty standard and straightforward. I tried to leave a lot of bells and whistles off, but you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, and I just left my descriptions super simple for my kids. I just said, hey, this is your first category, and this is your second, your third, and your fourth, and your fifth. And these are my grading criteria, and then these are the specific specific descriptions of how students are able to be scored in that particular category. So this is all good and ready to go. Got it good. And remember, Sheets will auto-save everything. So this is one based off of a project that students were working on. Now we're ready to look at importing it into our Google Classroom assignment. So remember this page where we started? I said we're going to do the import from Sheets option. So when I click on that, what I want to do is, a lot of times the one you've been most recently working on pops up, but I want to make sure I get the right one in there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over the very specific one that I want it to locate for me. And there it is. So I select it and I click Add. Now watch this. It's pretty cool. Boom, there it is. Now, the nice thing is, here is everything. Look, here are my little categories. There's how I'm grading everything. Beautiful. Looks great. The other thing I want to do is I want to make sure I turn my scoring on and that my points that I assign are in, for me, I descend the order, meaning the highest amount of points are on the left, the lowest amount are on the right. You can change that if you want to right there. It's totally up to you. So now this is ready to go. So all I would need to do is click Save, and it's going to apply to my class. Okay, so they're going to now have the availability to see that as students. And you'll see, for me and the assignment, it pops up right there, almost as like a little attachment. Then I go ahead and assign, and students would now be able to have access to the rubric. I want to show you one more thing. Now let's just say I'm ready to grade my projects. I just want you to see and show you, what it looks like on your end. So let's just say in this case, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. It's your comfort level. It's inside of Google Classroom. So I've gone to the specific assignment for the kids, and I'm in the student work section. Now I want to be able to use my rubric efficiently for my kiddos. Two ways you can do that. Number one, you can click on the individual kid, open it up fully. Now, in this particular assignment, kids have not attached their work yet, so please note that normally you would have work attached right here. I just wanted to show you what this looked like to begin with. But look over here. Here's my rubric right there. Those are my little titled categories that I have. And if I want to be a little bit more specific as to looking at their criteria, like if I don't have my rubric memorized by now, then if I click on the individual category, it pops up what I put in as my individual criteria. And then I also can, so inside of there, I can click on the one that I want, and it will automatically assign the points. Or while it's in the closed format, I can just click on the level. Remember, mine are in descending order. And if you hover, it will refresh your memory on how much each category is worth. Okay, that's one way. Now, the other way to do that is in the preview mode as well. You could click on the individual student over here on the left, and look, here's my rubric right here. So again, I could just hover over and select how many points I want to assign to that student's work. If I forgot my categories, I can open it up with the arrow and figure out which one I want to assign it. And I can just go through and grade my student work. So again, a couple of different ways you can do that. I have found this pretty cool little option, especially if I'm having students do like a writing piece, if I'm grading Cornell notes and I have a rubric that I use, if I have a special project, so kids know ahead of time, hey, what do I need to do to get an A, B, a C, or a D? Hopefully it's not a D or a C, but at any rate, we all know how that goes, but they're knowing ahead of time what is expected of me, and hopefully it will make grading for you just a little bit easier. So sorry, this was a little bit of a longer tutorial, but the process is just a little bit more. However, I would be more than happy to come help you set one up, integrate one, and one of the coolest features about this is that once you create the rubric, because so many of us are collaborative on our teams, one person can create the rubric, and look, click the share button, share it with people, share it in your department, share it amongst people in the district, however you want to, and that way not everyone is having to reinvent the wheel, which is what this is all about, is that wheel is round and it works well, so don't reinvent it. All right, so I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you get started on it. I hope it really makes things a little bit easier for you in our everyday crazy life right now. Good luck. Have a good one.